Hero, martyr, legend. Jose Rizal. We've been told of his life through movies, school, history books. But there's another story hidden beneath the surface, tucked away in the catacombs. A story of many secrets. Rizal's life was steeped in occult ritual, ancient magic. Most of his story has remained locked away in the darkness. But this lost story can now be brought to light, as I have finally deciphered the Rizal Code. Now everybody, welcome to this episode of the Rizal Code, which will be an entire series of videos that I'll be releasing, which will be accompanied by my book to be released next year, titled The Rizal Code, Secret Teachings of Jose. But I'd like to ask you to please watch the entire video, as I'm going to reveal the true meaning of his name at the beginning. But it's very important for you all to know the story behind it, for the explanation to be crystal clear, to understand the entire etymology. So please watch till the end. Thank you very much. Let's get started. So, if we do a search on Google for what does Rizal's name mean, you get all kinds of cover stories and basic surface level definitions. I'm not interested in that, and I don't think you are either, because we've all heard it before. Like most things, what you see on the surface is only a very small percentage of what the truth is. So that's why we're gonna go deep. Now, some of the things you see on these websites are Rizal's name means rice fields, or I've even seen some official websites that say they got the name because his father was racist against the Spaniards, and the Spaniards said, "There goes that racial man." And and the fact that they said he was racial became Rizal. From racial to racist to Rizal. Forget it. We're gonna get to the truth. So, Rizal's story, including his name, for the most part, everything we know, everything that's been taught, it's only the very glossy cover of his book, of his magazine, what you might want to call it. But we're going to now peel back that cover and look at its true contents, and not just shiny objects. So, the true meaning of the name Jose Rizal is: God adds again the angel of mysteries. Now follow me as we go deep, deep down the rabbit hole and explore the story of his name. On Midsummer's Eve 1861, a legend was born. Soon after, Rizal was baptized, and the church burnt to the ground, along with all of his original records of his birth. Omens and prophecies would surround him throughout his life, a life steeped in mystery and meaning. He was cradled by the mystic Jesuit order, raised by the secretive Freemasons. His story written down in our school books and novels of many authors has been reiterated by many. But the true story that was locked away is now going to be told. For us to understand the untold story of Jose Rizal, we must start at the very beginning with his name. You see, nothing in this world is by chance. Everything has a reason, and his name, Jose Rizal, reveals the truth of his origins and his destiny. As Rizal said, those whom do not know from which they came will never get to their destinations. That's powerful right there. We will start with his first name, Jose. The origin of the name Jose is Joseph. Joseph is a Hebrew name, and Jose is the Spanish version of that Hebrew name. So, if we are to go to the origin of the name Jose, Joseph, then we must look back at the original man given that name in the book of the Old Testament. Joseph was a very important figure from the Old Testament in the book of Genesis. A name looked upon by the Jesuits and the Masons alike as sacrosanct. Rizal and his family's connections to the Joseph narrative is confirmed throughout his life. Even his parents naming one of his sisters Josepa, and his one and only wife, Josephine. Both derivatives, female versions of the name Joseph. So we know his connection is strong. In order for us to properly understand the significance of Rizal's parents giving him the name, we must start with a brief history of the original Joseph. You see, Joseph was the son of Jacob. Yes, Jacob from the Bible, who wrestled with God himself. No doubt a metaphorical and symbolical tie to Rizal, as he had his own wrestling bouts and issues with belief in religion, no doubt. Joseph, whom was the son of Isaac and the grandson of the patriarch of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, Abraham, to state that importance of this lineage. The meaning of Joseph or Jose is God will bring forth again, or God will make again. Remember this meaning as it will be of great importance when we go into the last name, Rizal. Jacob, like Rizal's father, had many children, but none of them stood out like Joseph. He quickly became his father's favorite because he stood out amongst the rest. Everyone could see he was a special child, much like Rizal himself. He had succeeded in all things he pursued and was very handsome. But it was his special abilities, his visions, his predictions, his powers of prophecy that made Joseph stand out more than any other. Many religions even today recognize him as a prophet, including Judaism and Islam. Now, Joseph, growing up, his siblings over the years had become so jealous of their brother. He was always receiving gifts and special attention from their father Jacob and many others. In fact, he made it known worldwide that Joseph was his favorite son. But it was his exceptionalism, his special abilities, his power of prophecy, and the straw that broke the camel's back was when his father had given him the coat of many colors, the most beautiful and rare coat from all the land Jacob had bought for his son. And the envy and jealousy of his brothers boiled over. They could no longer stand it. They had reached the point of no return. At this point in Joseph's story, his own family, his brothers, they conspired to kill him. After the brothers had caught Joseph alone, they ripped off his coat, his beautiful coat he was so proud of, showing the love of his father. And his brothers threw him into a pit. And upon covering the pit, just by happenstance, a caravan of Egyptian traders happened to pass by. And Joseph's brothers saw that they were Egyptians and had so much money and wealth that they decided to sell Joseph instead of leaving him for dead. Sell their brother as a slave to Egypt, as money was of the utmost importance to the brothers. If you can imagine how Joseph felt, the betrayal, unaware of his own brother's nefarious intentions, surprised by them in the field while he was tending his flock, thrown into a dark pit, buried alive by your own family, only to be dragged up later by those same brothers and sold as a slave to the great Egypt. Now Rizal's Joseph storyline continues. Just as Joseph Rizal is sent off to a foreign land, in Joseph's case it's obvious. He's given over to Egypt. In Rizal's storyline, the country is Spain, but Egypt is still in play. For Rizal has been groomed and he is immediately adopted into Freemasonry and enrolled in the Egyptian mystery school teachings. Neither of which would have been possible if it were not agreed upon and preordained by Rizal's family and all of those powerful forces that have been with him since birth. Now, after becoming indoctrinated in the teachings and ways of Egypt, Rizal ends up eventually exiled and persecuted just as Joseph was upon his arrival in Egypt. After Joseph's initial hardships, he rises to greatness after his successful initiation and graduation from the Egyptian mystery schools, just as Rizal was. Upon Joseph's successful indoctrination, he cements himself in history, much like Rizal. The Pharaoh of Egypt is so impressed with Joseph, he gives Asenath, the princess of On, as his wife. And the princess of On, which is a very famous city at the time in Egypt. The name of that city translates to the city of the pillars, or the city of the obelisks. Now, some of you might know the connection to Rizal and the obelisk. But for those of you that don't, take a look at the Rizal Monument, or any Rizal monument in Luneta Park or anywhere around the world. What is it that's always behind Jose Rizal, looming over him? It's the great Egyptian obelisk, standing tall behind him. Coincidence? I think not. Now, the Egyptian obelisk, we will delve deeper into that in a different episode in the future. But for now, we'll move along. Now, once Joseph has been given by the Pharaoh the beautiful princess of the city of obelisks, the Pharaoh also grants him a new title and a new Egyptian name. And the meaning of that new Egyptian name is the Revealer of Mysteries. Much like Joseph, Rizal, successfully initiated, has proven himself to the secret orders and mystery schools that he is the chosen one. He is given a new title, a new name. And he is the only one sanctioned and approved to use the name which is sacrosanct, Rizal. A very powerful occult title and name to be given. So much so, Rizal's ancestors, his own predecessors' family, were denied by these same orders. The church, the Jesuits, the secret societies that were there in Laguna at that time. They denied them the right to use the name Rizal and to make it their official name of their family. Even being one of the most powerful families in all of Laguna, they were denied. The reason is the true secret origin of the Rizal name is from the Kabbalistic traditions and hidden books of the Bible. The origin of the name is the Archangel Rizal. Which, would you believe it? Means the angel of mysteries. Coincidence? Not even close. So just like Joseph, once initiated, means God adds again the revealer of mysteries. And Jose, once initiated, becomes God adds again the angel of mysteries. Just like Joseph's story is a mirror of Rizal's, so is the story of the Archangel Rizal, which we will explore in the next episode of the Rizal Code. Thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe. Para sa Diyos at Bansa, and Godspeed.